Aloha colleagues, this is Dr. Gibson. Welcome to OC 6005, Scope and Methods of Research. In this particular presentation, I'm going to be discussing coding of textual data and how to do that in Microsoft Word and Excel. So let's begin with describing what I actually mean by coding. So by that process, I mean going through a text document, looking for snippets of text that are relevant to the research that you're doing, and assigning a code of your choosing that will help you identify the text later. So in this particular example, I'm going to use the letter to the shareholders of Procter & Gamble. And it was written by David Taylor, who is the chairman of the board, president, and CEO. And the letter provides the introduction to the 2017 annual report of P&G. And for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm looking for any information on achieving goals, growth, and returns on investment. So I'll be coding primarily for anything dealing with goals, growth, and returns. So the first step is to actually download this Microsoft add-in. So I'm actually going to switch over to our Blackboard course, show you where I've put the link. So the link is actually available in two separate places. So the link is provided either in the content analysis project instructions or down here where it says Microsoft Word add-in. Go ahead and click on that. It'll take a second to appear. So it'll take you to this Doc Tools Word add-ins page, and this will help extract the comments from our Word document. So this is a free tool. Clear that. You will want to go ahead and click on the free download, and it will prompt you to put in your email and name here, and it says send me the download link. It's very easy to do. It takes just a few minutes to do so. I did have a tech person look at the code of this add-in to make sure that there is no spyware or malware in this add-in. It's completely clean, so feel comfortable downloading this. Again, it only takes a few moments, so just follow the prompts for this add-in and you'll be ready to go. So I've already done that. So I'm going to click back over to my document. So the second step is to get your data into a Word document. So I already have mine copy and pasted here into a Word document, but depending on what data set you're using, you may have to copy and paste from a PDF file, or if you only have a hard copy, you may have to do the old-fashioned sit there and retype it. But whatever you need to do to get your data into a Word document, that is step number 2. Now, please make sure that you save your data in multiple places. I've had a colleague that only saved her data set on her laptop hard drive, and she accidentally left her laptop in her car overnight. Her car was broken into, laptop was stolen, and 3 years worth of data collection was down the drain. So it is in your best interest to save your data set in many, many different places. If you look at the top of my document too, you'll also see that I've saved the date of the time that I'm working on my document. That way I know exactly which version of the data that I'm opening, and I'm ensuring that I'm working on the most current version. again, please, please, please remember to save in many places. So you'll also notice that there's a new little tab here. This is our Doc Tools add-in. So we'll be using that in a few moments. But once you download that add-in, that will appear in Microsoft Word. So the first thing you want to do is go to the Review tab. Click New Comment. Oops. That's not what we wanted. We're going to start actually a little bit farther down here. So I was looking for three things: goals, growth, and returns. So I see here that we met or exceeded our objectives. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a new comment, and I'm going to code that with goals. Okay. Now, as I continue to go through the document, we met our sales objective. I'm going to also code that as goals. Next one, organic sales growth of 2%. I'm going to code that as growth. More than a full point faster than fiscal 2016. Goals. And mainly composed of volume growth. So I actually think that this snippet of text has to do with two separate codes here. So I'm going to say that it's part of goals, but I also want to code volume growth into my growth category. So when you see a snippet of text that can have possibly multiple meanings, go ahead and code it in a new comment. So we always want one code per comment. Okay, I'm going to keep looking here. We exceeded our earnings objective. Let's say goals. Core earnings share a 7% increase. I'm going to say growth. And I'm also going to say goals. We can go farther on through our document. We built on a strong track record of returning cash to you. I'm going to say goals. And also, I want that snippet of text to our share owners as returns. Okay, so you can kind of see the process of actually going through the document and categorizing snippets of text. So a tool that will help us identify where our codes are actually located in our document. You're going to want to go to Layout and Page Setup, and it'll say Line Numbers. And we want to click Restart Each Page. So that will ensure that each page starts with line number 1. And so we see the line numbers appear here on the side. Okay, so now for this example, we are ready to extract our comments into a different document. So we're going to go to Doc Tools, Extract Data. We're going to scroll down here to the bottom where it says extract comments. This command lets you extract comments to a new document. Yes, that's what we want. So we're going to do extract comments. And here's what we have in a new document. So we have the comments extracted from this particular file, created by me, creation date, and then we have the page number of the comment, the comment scope. So this is actually what we highlighted, so the actual text that we highlighted. Comment text, so what our code was, the author, and I'm on my laptop, and this was where NMSU is where I got my PhD, so this is my old email address, and then the date that we extracted the comments. So if you want, we can make this a little bit more user-friendly. I like to change this to textual data. I like to change this one to just merely say code. And author, I like to change to coder. And this is helpful if you have multiple people working on the same data set. You can see who coded what data where, and then the date helps you know when that was particularly extracted. So this is great. It helps us to actually see our data, but it's even more helpful if we can extract this and put it into an Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to click this little arrow here to highlight the table and copy it. I'm going to go over here to Excel. It may take a second. And I'm going to paste this. Okay. So if we play around with some of these lines in our table, we can double click some of these and it will fit our data into a view that makes it a little bit easier to see. So we still have all the same information as before. It's just easier to see. So some of this I like to just make it a little bit easier for me to see. I also sometimes like to add this. Insert another column and add the line number. So I have an actual printout of my code, so I don't need to switch back here. But I know that on page 1, line 5 was my first code. Met our sales objective, that was on 6. If you notice, I am putting the line number of the line that the code started. So on this next one, this is actually on line 6 and 7, but I'm only putting the line number that the code began on. Okay. This next one is down farther. you'll see in a second why it's helpful to add the line number. I know it is kind of time consuming, but it is quite helpful. So when we go to, let's see, the data tab, we can actually filter by different filters. So for example, let's say I want to see only the codes of goals. So this filters out everything that I have coded as goals. Clear that. We can also sort. I'm going to sort, oops. And this alphabetizes all of my codes. So goals, 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 growth, 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 and then returns. So this allows us to see our data in different groups. It allows us to play with our data a little bit more. But this is really helpful in helping us to begin to analyze our data in terms of seeing what codes we have. And it also gives us a mechanism to go back to our actual data set and see where the codes are and see if we may have possibly misinterpreted, or later on as we go through and recode our data, we can compare the different passes through our document to see if our codes match up. So I hope this is very helpful in understanding how to code your content analysis assignment projects. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'm happy to help. Aloha!